Alright, I'm not gonna lie, I was mega hyped for this week's episode of Arrow. With Oliver still gone, the remaining members of the team are forced to consider an offer from Malcolm Merlyn to help shut Brick down. Would they take his offer, and would Starling City's hero finally return home? Welcome to the top 5 moments of the episode, followed by the overall verdict. After getting a glimpse of Malcolm's past, Felicity is looking into some evidence which is cross-referenced with a 21-year-old shooting. The same gun was used to kill Rebecca Merlyn. Maybe that, if anything, would tempt Malcolm to team with the others to help bring Brick down.
Daniel Brickwell killed Malcolm Merlyn's wife.
As Laurel and Roy attempt to take Brick down, it looks like that evidence that surfaced did indeed tempt Malcolm after all.
You have your options. Weigh them.
I guess I was wrong about everything. I need some air. I'm glad you're not dead.
After Oliver's big return, many would have anticipated the first encounter between Oliver and Felicity. His last words, after all, were that he loved her, before he went off to fight Raz. I'll bet Oliver wasn't expecting this kind of reaction from her, after admitting that he has to work with Merlyn if they have any hope of stopping Raz and the League.
I don't want to be a woman that you love.
Raz is going to come for me. And he will learn the truth about Sarah eventually.
And then he will come for Thea. And me.
Paying a visit, Oliver knows as much as Malcolm that he can't beat Raz Al Ghul the next time that they meet. And there was only one way that Oliver could win.
This time, I will have you to train me.
Only the student has hope of defeating the master.
Every choice I have made since my wife died.
And you make a different choice now for Thea.
As the battle for the Glades rages on through the city, Malcolm had a choice to make. To kill the man responsible for his wife's death, or to let him live and give hope to his daughter's forgiveness. And after Malcolm made his choice, the Arrow had a few words for the people of Starling.
And I promise, I will not fail you by leaving it again.
My overall verdict for this week's episode of Arrow is an 8 out of 10. And that was that. The 3-episode story arc with Brick has come to an end. And all in all, it was a satisfying little arc that was able to point the focus more on the other members of the team, such as Roy and Laurel. And this week, the focus was now on Malcolm, who's beginning to earn a slight amount of sympathy at the end of the tunnel, despite all he's done. He finds out that the murder he did, the first kill 21 years ago to start off this whole chain of events which led him to where he is today, was false. He murdered the wrong man. Danny Brickwell was the man responsible for Rebecca's death, and he intended to put his error right. There's no doubt that Vinnie Jones had a great stint on Arrow. His villain was able to establish himself as a real presence in Starling, and the revelation of him being involved in Rebecca Merlyn's murder tied him very nicely to give his villain an overall great story. Will we see Brick again? Probably, but who knows. The star of the episode this week was no doubt John Barrowman. The flashback material fit in very well to give us the perspective that Malcolm wasn't always a cold-blooded killer. Maybe Malcolm has turned a corner now. I mean, Oliver talked him down from killing Brick, for Thea and for himself, but you never know with Malcolm. Is he really beginning to turn a corner and care for others again like Thea? Or is it all a scheme in another master plan? My bet right now, it's looking as if he's going to train Oliver, and when the League does attack the city, he's going to sacrifice himself to save Thea, before the student, being Oliver, defeats the Master in Raz. Now on to Oliver's big return. I must admit I was slightly underwhelmed. I was expecting the battle to be raging on just as it was, and then for Oliver to sort of swoop in and save people here and there. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed it, I just wasn't expecting a rousing hero speech before him swooping away at the end above the crowd. I thought that the swoop was going to be into the battle where he saved a few people. And it looks like events are beginning to unravel. Detective Lance is going to find out sooner rather than later the truth about Sarah and what Laurel is really up to. And with Felicity, will she seek further distance from Oliver now that he's working with Malcolm? Or will she come to her senses and begin to understand why he has to do this? As always, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the review. And I'll see you next week.
And I promise I will not fail you by leaving it again.